So guys, thank you very much for being here. Well, I guess you didn't have much choice. But I just wanted to introduce what we're going to do. Big day has arrived. It's been whisperings. Alex has been getting pretty excited over there, wondering what's going to happen. We've got dropped some little hints about what we're going to be doing today. Oh, come on, thanks. And I just hope this presentation meets your expectations. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the history of FlowCaritas, where we've come from. So I started FlowCaritas back in 2004 from a little attic room up on Borough High Street. There I am, working away. A little bit later, we built up enough of a pot that we could move sites. We moved to Copperfield Street. Alex walking along by the tent with his little hat on. So we got an office on Copperfield Street, just around the corner from here. And actually, I had a flat up above the office. So I'd sometimes be at my desk at like 4 in the morning because I'd forgotten to do something. So it wasn't the best idea. But we had a smaller office downstairs, and on that office we had a not very convenient toilet. It didn't offer very much privacy. It's a bit of an idea of what we had. It wasn't exactly that, but it was a bit of a flavour. And it didn't offer very much privacy, this toilet, which is probably why Paul always used to nip around the corner from a cafe. So I should have got some matches from the office. So then Paul joined the business 2 years after we started, 2006. And it all went downhill. No, only joking, it didn't really go downhill. So back in 2005, our turnover was just over 800 grand. And he's not that happy. He's not that happy about that. Just over 800 grand. If we jump forward to 2010, in 5 years we increased our turnover by 100%. So we got it up to just over $1.5 million. So pretty good. 5 years. It's a little bit happy there. Not bad. Fairly pleased. 2011, and we increased our turnover by £1 million. Guess who's there? He is pretty chuffed. Alex is pretty chuffed. So first 5 years we had a 100% increase in our turnover. From 2010, so over 2 years, from 2010 to 2012, our turnover went up by 242% to nearly £4 million. Pass over to Paul.
Thanks. So we've grown really quick. It's a really competitive market because with recruitment, people can open up businesses really easily. It's quite cheap to do it, so we must be doing something right.
We've placed 585 candidates in permanent jobs since February 2007. We've added over 8,000 candidates to our database of face-to-face and door-to-door positions. And the team has grown from 2 members back then to nearly 16. It would have been 16 until Katie left. And we've got 2 teams doing office and face-to-face vacancies. Sorry, now it's your turn.
Thanks. So anyway, why we've grown so quickly is because, in the words of a wise woman, you're brilliant. Basically, I think there's a number of reasons why people work with us and why we've been able to be so successful. That's partly because one really unique thing about us is pretty much everyone's got experience in the sector, whether that's sort of trusteeships and founding their own charities, that sort of thing, experience in learning and development, marketing and digital over there, and lots of sort of face-to-face, door-to-door, that sort of thing. People know that about us, and it really makes them trust us and know we've got that sort of understanding and buy into the sector, which makes them come back. We tend to employ people that are nice, right? Most of them are nice most of the time. So people like working with us, they like coming back, they know they're going to get professionalism, but they want to enjoy working with us too. And particularly in this sector where it's really relationship focused, that makes a big difference. And this is a quote from Alistair over at NAS, which is quality over quantity and sometimes quantity over quality. Got that right this time. I think on the perm team we've certainly had experiences with a number of clients over the years where they've complained about us when we first worked with them, because we've been working alongside other agencies and maybe supplied 5 CVs to a role that the other agencies between them have supplied sort of 60 or so. And initially they've complained and said, well, why are you not working on it enough? Why haven't you sent more CVs? But it's only then when they sort of shortlist themselves some CVs they've had and find that they want to interview all of ours and maybe one of the other 60 they've had, that they really understand sorry, what it is we do. Because we actually save them a lot of time by doing it properly and really going through candidates first and only sending them the people that are good for their roles. So they like it eventually if they don't get it initially. Other reasons are long-term relationships. There's Rory giving Sheena some love. Another real complaint about other recruiters is people saying that they phone up one year, they speak to a consultant, and when they phone up the next, that consultant's left, or it's a whole new team or something like that. We do tend to be quite good at hanging on to staff, Katie notwithstanding, and not been here today, but she has been here a long time. So people know they can come back, talk to the same person. You can always have that thing of taking somebody on as a junior, helping them get their first role, and then seeing them through their career in the sector, and actually helping them move up to the point where they become a client and you're sort of recruiting for them. Also, it's not all about the money. I think all of us aren't really into the whole money-grubbing recruiter side of things. They've been offered sometimes if we don't think it fits with their career plan, or it's not going to make them happy. And again, it's not what people expect, so they really appreciate it. And the good long-term stuff is that it does make us money ultimately, because that person really trusts you, trusts your judgment, and will always come back to you in future. The final thing, not so much why people come to us, but something I wanted to remind you all, is the fact that we do make a difference. I think it's quite easy to forget that when we're just charging out clients and charging them what seems like quite a lot of money. But when you look at, say, with the face-to-face and door-to-door, you've got guys out there who are bringing millions for Shelter and Red Cross every year, so you're getting lots of people off the street, saving lots of lives around the world. Perm team, we're placing people in jobs, and if we're getting the best person we can possibly find in the sector into that role, they might make $500,000 more than the next best person, and that has a big impact on that charity as well. And I think it is good to sometimes sort of sit back and remember that, and that matters to all of us as well, and people know that, so that's also why they keep coming back to us. So you are, we're brilliant. On Sophie.
Thanks.
We need to swap now for the
No,
camera.
I'm just going to talk a little bit about how we're going to continue to grow. So over the last few years we've been growing organically, and now we feel it's time that we change our focus to become a more strategically thinking business. And to help us do this, what we want to do is we want to plan the next 3 years together. So getting everyone's thoughts and how they want to move forward as well. And we just want to kind of focus on mainly getting the most out of our current situations, and also about focusing on our future achievements and what we can do. Really just trying to get the best out of each other as well. I've been here for 3 years now, and I've really been able to sort of progress and develop really quickly. And so I kind of grabbed that opportunity, and we just want to kind of let you all know that there's that opportunity for you guys to take if you want it as well. So, thank you.
Thanks, Sophie. So, as I said earlier, we've spent the last 6 or 7 weeks in doing this training course with Denise and Steve, and that's a strategic management course, which is about bringing everything that we've done up to this point together, planning our next 3 years, and building some steps that we can achieve. It's been great, that course, actually, and it's given us some really good tools, I think, to take the business forward. But we can only achieve this, as we keep saying, with you guys. So the key areas that we're going to be looking at over the next 3 years are staff and culture, new products, our customers, turnover of business, and the employees and how many employees we've got in the business. What do we want to be achieving over the next 3 years? Up to August 2013, we want to be going up from 3.8 million to 5 million turnover, growing up to 18 staff, and getting new offices. So I don't think we're going to let me knock down the next wall into the next building, or we can turf them out the weekend when they're not there, but we won't make many friends. August 2014, we want to be growing up to a turnover of 6.5 million, team of 22. August 2015, turnover of 8 million. Joe down here, and staff of 26, and then final year in this plan, August 2016, turnover of 10 million, staff of 30.
So we always talk about those 5 areas, the ones that we're going to concentrate on today. So he's talked about sort of the income and the number of people, that sort of thing. Is we're going to take 3. Now there's Lego Baby Jesus there, which I think it's mainly because I like the picture more than anything. It's more about sort of new things going forward and growing and spreading the word, and also because Joseph looks a little bit like Joe, which led on to the So we talked about the money and number of people. 3 things we really want to focus on are staff and culture, customers, and new products. We're going to talk about year 1, because although there's plans for years 2 and 3 and going forward, it's this first year which is really going to be the one that makes the difference and really getting the ball rolling. We've taken them in this order. The staffing culture needs to come first. That's all about making sure we've got the right people or more right people and getting everyone happy and motivated and doing things really well. Then when we've got that right, we can move on to customers, which is both clients and candidates, and actually start working with them better than we do already and really sharing all our good bits. So I think everyone in the room probably does one particular thing slightly better than everyone else, and if we can get everyone sharing all those good bits so everyone's as good as each other, that'd be really good. And once we've got those 2 things right, we can go into new products, like Lego Jesus, and find new sort of areas of the sector that we haven't really quite moved into as much as we might and start developing the business.
Me again. So, I'm just going to start with the staffing culture and really just about our attitudes and behaviours. Our culture has been a massive part of Flow and why we have been so successful in the last few years. And it's something that we don't want to lose sight of, what's made us who we are. So our crazy sense of humour, Friday breakfast, and of course like our commitment to our jobs as well. We believe in order to continue the success, what we need to do is just to introduce better structured inductions and also training packages, like our little training poly guy. And just so to start with, what we want to do is just to reinforce our current staff and make them feel valued and just show you that there's other opportunities in training that you can take advantage of as well. Sorry, we just want to be explicit in how we want our attitudes and behaviours for new staff as well, so that we can integrate everyone properly and everyone can feel, valued in their team and know where they are at work, basically. Also, furthermore, we want to begin sort of working across the departments so that we can all learn from each other. So, because as Paul said, we all have different skills that we can take advantage of and use. And we feel that by doing this, we can just stand out from our competitors and offer them something that no one else can.
Like Sophie was saying about being valued, one thing we're going to be looking at in the next year is recognition and reward. Mr. Motivator there, for those of you who are too young to remember it. Basically, we're going to look at developing things not just about sort of salary and commission and those sort of things, although they're relevant to it, but actually looking at ways to recognise achievement in a way that's really meaningful to you guys. So we're going to be working with all our teams to work out what you want and what makes a difference to you. We've had things in the past, like we've had the pirate treasure chest, which died a bit of a death. The trips to Paris, or FlowCaritas as Alex so beautifully named it. We've had the winner's trophy, which is still there but stuck together slightly with Marmite after it got Joe. But we're going to really just talk to you guys. As I say, a lot of this is going to be coming out as we sort of in meetings and that sort of thing through the year to work out actually what means something to you, and also to talk in terms of developing your careers in a way that's meaningful for you as well. So not just trying to nudge you in ways we think, but actually something you want to do too.
I know my team, unlike Perm team, have something that a little bell that every time they place someone, everyone knows. So I thought it'd be a good idea that we had something. So every time we make a placement, so that it doesn't go unnoticed, we've got a new toy. So every time we make a placement, so everyone knows how well you're doing and you can see it as well.
Other thing we're going to be looking at is brand guidelines. So this isn't so much about brand guidelines like you might have in a massive company where it's all about where the logo is positioned on a piece of paper, that kind of thing, but more just about thinking in terms of how we talk about ourselves. We all market ourselves every day, whether it be on the phone, that's meant to be Twitter by the way, on the phone, LinkedIn, emails, Rory's favourite, FaceSpace.
I know Facebook.
All of those things. I mean, we're talking about ourselves all day, every day, and I know I quite often catch myself on the phone talking to new clients. Well, I do talk to new clients, you know, and really sort of talking about us in a way that I think other recruiters probably talk about themselves, and just saying that, you know, we meet all our candidates and all that kind of thing. You think they're hearing that all day, every day. Whereas actually when you talk to people who work with us, who really like working with us, they don't normally talk about any of those things. It's quite different things that people see as being our unique selling points. So the brand guidelines will be more about putting things together, so when we're talking about ourselves to anybody externally, we can think about really selling out those things which make us special. So we're going to be working on that, particularly me and Hayley, but again talking to you guys about what you think or how we're special.
Thanks, Paul. So I just wanted to chat to you guys about another thing that we're going to be closely looking at, which is our customers, clients and candidates, and in particular account management for clients and candidates. So since August 2007 we've worked with 157 charities on 541 jobs. That's on the permanent side anyway. How many of those clients do you guys think have got a structured account management process? Anybody? Anybody? Any idea? Huh? 20%? 20%? Alex?
About 20, 25%.
Yeah? Guys? Yeah? All agree? 15%? Okay. How many of our clients have got a proper structured management, account management process with us? None of our clients. Wow, jaws drop. So I just wanted to get some feedback from you guys. What do you think are the benefits of having good account management? Anybody?
Doesn't it always keep them coming back?
Yeah.
I guess you really
So gets you return clients? Yeah, but it does, because if it's a one-off permanent position. Yeah?
You've got realistic expectations of what you can achieve.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, from their side and our side.
Yeah. Anybody else?
You can stop things from going wrong as of them.
Yeah. How can you stop things from going wrong?
So if you keep managing the account, you kind of say if you place someone new there, you keep in touch, and if anything goes wrong, you can kind of fix that before it gets too late.
Yeah. Okay.
Plan ahead.
Yeah, you can plan ahead. Yeah.
If you think about the pulse of like new things that are happening.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Can do an easier handover.
How do you mean?
If you're doing the account management properly and keeping track of what's going on and
Yeah.
getting it recorded, and it's easier to hand that over to somebody else if you're away for a day.
To one of your members of the team?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other ideas?
I think it builds trust as well.
Yeah, really important. Right, okay. So we don't have, this is a thing that we want to do going forward, is build a really good structured account management process. We do, you're right, we do account management, but not a proper formalised account management process. There's some ideas, I think you guys are kind of know the benefits of doing account management. I think it's encapsulated, two things that encapsulate what account management does. And that is building strong relationships, a couple of parrots, people holding hands, emphasising strong relationships. Another picture I found actually when I put in strong relationships into Google, not a terrible picture, but it's quite apt as well with all the stuff that's happening in the Catholic Church. With that picture, I don't know what that. Giving confession or something. The other thing, but I think it's really important. It's a strong relationship. This is all building strong relationships. It's also good account management is about flow of communication.
So, just following on from Rory, I just wanted to talk a little bit about statistics, obviously. We just want to continue to improve our account management, and we think it'll be easy to do this if we can provide clients with stats from people that we've placed, so showing the time that they've been in a role, their progression, and we think this could all add value to helping us sell our service to not only existing clients but to new clients as well. So we can actually tell them, that the people that we are sending over to them are really quality staff. So really, we're just trying to tell people that we are actually value for money as well.
One of the new products we want to look at branching out into is senior appointments. So that's not recruiting OAPs, but it's more it's more thinking in terms of sort of chief executives and directors, that sort of thing. We've done a bit of it in the past, but we're really going to look at building on that now. It seems like it's really good financially because they're obviously earning a lot of money, so you can make lots of money from the fee you charge. But actually, it's not as good as it sounds in terms of that one placement, because say if you're working a corporate manager, a corporate fundraising manager, you might spend an hour with the client speaking to them, then you spend maybe half an hour, three-quarters of an hour with each of the candidates, and it's quite a smooth process, and then you maybe bill 5,000, something like that. With a chief exec, you can end up having to go and meet with the whole board of trustees. They might only meet in the evening, so you might have to go and meet with them. They're going to want to tell you everything about that role, so you could be with them for 3 or 4 hours. You might have to help them with the job spec, all those sorts of things. And then when you meet up with the candidates, because they're all older people, more experienced, they really want to talk you through all of their years of experience. So in the past, I've sort of had to spend 2 or 3 hours with each candidate for a chief exec role. And then you might not end up placing anybody in the position. And when you do, the placement fee is really good, but it's more about the knock-on effects that you get from those, because then they have staff below them and they can be a client. So to give an example, this is Claire Horton. I know when she was a director at one of the universities, and I placed her in the Variety Club Children's Charity as their chief exec about 5 years ago, I think. So she went in on a very big salary, which was 19,000 fee we billed for that, which is the biggest fee FlowCaritas have ever done, but it did take hours and hours and was a real headache to work on. But because I got on really well with her and account managed her very well, she ended up coming to us to build their whole fundraising department. So ended up placing 14 people over the next couple of years, making nearly 50 grand from the Variety Club. Then after a couple of years, she moved on to be chief executive of Battersea Dogs and Cats Home. I didn't place her in that role, but because I had a good relationship with her, she then came back to us to help sort of build her fundraising team. So we placed 9 more people at Battersea, so that's 22.5 grand. So for that one placement, we billed £90,000. So that's why we're really going to look at senior appointments. Because all of them, you place them into a role, and although you're just placing one big person, they have lots of little people that you can recruit beneath them. That's one big push for us.
I was going to talk about mentoring, and what we want to do is introduce and develop a mentoring scheme for clients and candidates as well. So just offering them a career path really, and talking through how they can get from one job to the next. And it's all about kind of building a good relationship as well, because we go so much effort to advertise for a role, to then place a candidate and find them the perfect role. So what we want to do is just kind of add value to their careers as well, and yeah, just really map a career path and offer some guidance for them. So it's really just sort of about building on what we already know, and some of us already do too, and working closely with place candidates, and a bit like what we're talking to you about today, about building the next few years with you, is kind of offering them something similar, so they've got an idea where they could be as well, and hopefully just adding a lot of value to people's careers. Over to you.
Thank you, Sophie. So to conclude, we want to help you guys. This is what you're looking for: develop your careers over the next few years. We want you guys all to share in the success of the business as well. We want to be the best that there is out there in the sector as a recruiter, and we want to have fun. We want to party. All right.
Pull your poppers now.
Pull your poppers.
Any questions?
I have a question.
Alex.
You talked about senior appointments and kind of developing in that. What kind of opportunities do you think there are there?
So early days for us now, but as we develop it, basically there's opportunities for anyone if they wanted to move into that part of recruitment, because that should be building up. Then yeah, anyone who wanted to move that direction could.
We can mentor you.
For those that maybe don't have as much recruitment experience, is there the same opportunities for them there to find this?
It's not, you know, there's 2 benefits to the business. There's the internal benefit of opening up these new departments, that it's going to help you guys develop and hopefully keep you in business for a long amount of time, help you meet your expectations. And then there's the other benefit, obviously, financially to the business as well. So, but I think what's come through from doing this training for us really strongly is that we've got to look after each other. We are FlowCaritas. This is what makes us a success. And it's only if we get this bit right and get you guys on board and enjoying what you're doing that things like the senior appointments is going to work.
And then you can move as well, because it's all about training too. So like different training packages and that you can take advantage of if you do want to move, and then again like working across the department.
And you've mentioned training for us a couple of times.
Yeah.
Did you have any packages in mind? Is it an external training packages or internal?
I think both. And well, don't know, because we need it's going to be tailored to each person, I guess. I mean, we're already using outside trainer, which is Denise, who is brilliant, and she's given us a lot back. I've worked with her since I started up FlowCaritas. She's been really good. So it's her. I also think internally we sometimes forget, and I think in the past we've always looked externally for people to come in and give training. I think we've got a massive amount of skills here that we can utilise. But we might do other training externally. But I think part of this is, follow on from this, we are going to be putting some goalposts in place. So this is not empty words. You are going to see probably, what was it called? We're going to put like a board up with the things that we're talking about here and when we're going to do it and the fact that we're delivering as well. So we're not just going to walk out here and think, oh, that was great, but is this actually going to happen? It is going to happen. This is where we've always been, feels a bit like our home, and it's great, easy for candidates and clients to get to. So I think, as I said earlier, we're going to need a bigger office. Somebody mentioned a funky interview space. I would love to have a really funky office.
Should it be like all open plan, like all in the one office?
I think to me that's important in recruitment. Every time I've worked in recruitment, it's always important to share information. And when I worked at another place, and we were all in cubby holes, and you lost your relationships with your colleagues. There's no flow of information going on there, and we can see from those pictures how important good communication is.
You're talking about sharing, like the temp team, sharing information with the perm team. How do you think that's going to work? Like as all.
I think that's gonna. I think we need to look at that internally. I think we need to get some ideas from you guys. How we have our Friday meeting when we share information. We talk a lot anyway. I think talking and communication.
It's also for us, I think, educating other people in the fundraising teams, because you think if you're a head of events or a head of corporate or something like that, if you do hear anything about the actual face-to-face themselves, it's probably when the DM team are talking about one of the problems they're having, because that's what people tend to really chat about. So they might see face-to-faces as being that really bad end of the market, whereas actually if the perm team, when we're talking to people, we give them the real view of what really good face-to-faces can be, they do start perking up a bit and being a bit more interested in the sort of skills they can bring, and maybe they can bring those skills into their team, or at least educate their team, which gives them a bit of time in fundraising, they get their faces seen, and maybe they get a job sent to them when it comes up.
Any other questions? These all want to go to the pub, don't you? Cool. Great, thanks guys.